The Lunar New Year, a time for celebration, a time for family. But for many young people in China, it's also a time of intense pressure. The pressure to be married, the pressure to have a successful career, the pressure to live up to family expectations. This pressure is especially acute for single men and women. They face a barrage of questions from well-meaning relatives. When are you getting married? When will you start a family? Why aren't you dating anyone? For some, these questions are a source of amusement. For others, they are a painful reminder of their single status. And for a growing number of young Chinese, they are a reason to hire a girlfriend. Renting a girlfriend is a relatively new phenomenon in China. It has emerged in response to the unique social and cultural pressures of modern Chinese society. The concept is simple. For a fee, a man can rent a woman to pose as his girlfriend. This girlfriend will accompany him to social events. She will meet his family. She will even pretend to be in love with him. The service is entirely platonic. There is no physical intimacy involved. It is simply a way for men to avoid the stigma of being single and to escape the relentless questions of their families. Renting a girlfriend is surprisingly easy. Several websites and apps cater to this growing market. Clients can browse through profiles of women. They can filter their search by age, location, interests, and even language skills. Prices vary depending on the woman's experience and the duration of the rental period, but on average, it costs between $15 and $300 per hour to rent a girlfriend. Some agencies also offer package deals for holidays like Lunar New Year. Once a client has selected a girlfriend, they will typically meet in a public place to discuss the details of their arrangement. This includes things like the client's backstory, his family members, and the types of activities they will be doing together. The rising popularity of girlfriend rental services is a reflection of the changing social landscape in China. Traditional values around marriage and family are colliding with the realities of modern life. One factor is the intense pressure to marry young. In Chinese culture, marriage is seen as a rite of passage. It is something that is expected of all young adults. Those who remain single past a certain age are often subjected to societal disapproval and familial pressure. Another factor is the growing gender imbalance in China. Due to the country's one-child policy, there are far more men than women. This has created a competitive marriage market. Men are feeling the pressure to find a partner and settle down. Section 5. A day in the life experiences of renting a girlfriend. What is it actually like to rent a girlfriend? For some men, it is a positive experience. They appreciate the companionship. They enjoy the opportunity to avoid awkward questions from their families. One man who rented a girlfriend for a week during Lunar New Year described it as like having a friend who is always there for you. He said that his family was impressed with his girlfriend and that he felt less pressure to find a real partner. Another man, who used a rental service to find a date for his cousin's wedding, said that it was a good way to save face. He explained that he didn't want to show up to the wedding alone and that he was happy with the service. Section 6. Love and loneliness in the city, the cultural context. The trend of renting girlfriends also highlights the growing sense of loneliness and isolation in China's megacities. Many young people move to cities for work. They leave behind their families and support networks. In these fast-paced urban environments, it can be difficult to form meaningful connections. People work long hours. They have little time for socializing, and they may feel uncomfortable dating in a new city. For some, renting a girlfriend is a way to combat this loneliness. It is a way to experience the feeling of being in a relationship, even if it is just for a few hours or a few days. Section 7. The price of pretense, controversies and concerns. Despite its growing popularity, the practice of renting a girlfriend is not without its critics. Some argue that it is deceptive and dishonest. Others worry that it exploits women and reinforces traditional gender roles. There are also concerns about the potential for scams. In some cases, men have been tricked into paying for fake girlfriends, or they have been blackmailed after providing personal information to rental agencies. The Chinese government has taken steps to regulate the industry, but it remains largely unregulated, and there are concerns that the practice could lead to more serious problems. Section 8. Between tradition and modernity, a balancing act. The trend of renting girlfriends in China is a complex issue with no easy answers. It is a reflection of the challenges facing young people in a rapidly changing society, and it raises important questions about the nature of relationships, identity, and social pressure. On the one hand, it can be seen as a harmless way for people to cope with societal pressures. On the other hand, it raises concerns about authenticity, deception, and the commodification of relationships. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to rent a girlfriend is a personal one. but it is a decision that should be made with a clear understanding of the potential risks and rewards. Section 9. Renting relationships, a glimpse into the future. As China continues to modernize, it is likely that the trend of renting girlfriends will continue to evolve. Whether this trend is a passing fad or a sign of things to come remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, the growing popularity of such services highlights the challenges of finding love and companionship in the 21st century. And it raises important questions about the future of human connection in an increasingly digital world.